to you all. Welcome to delayed full match coverage of Burnley's match yesterday. Yesterday between Burnley and Liverpool. Sorry about that little bit of hesitation there. You'll hear the full 90 minutes and what happened yesterday. If you don't already know the score, we won't give out away, but I'm sure you knew what most of you know what's happened. But a few of you that don't know, we'll do it for you. Also later in the programme, we'll let you know all the other Premier League results and some cup football, EPL cup football that's going to come to you live in the next couple of weeks, involving both Liverpool and Burnley as they take on Burton and Accrington Stanley respectively. Anyway, let's get back to 5-3 when the two teams emerge from the tunnel. Enjoy or relive Burnley versus Liverpool again. Welcome to Turf Moor, where we're all set to go then, and here are the two teams for today's game. We'll start with Burnley, of course, with Tom Heaton playing in goal for them. Back four today, that remains unchanged, with Matt Loughton, Michael Keane, Ben Mee and Stephen Ward retaining their places. One change, however, in midfield. David Jones, who played against Swansea a week ago, he's now going to Sheffield Wednesday, and in his place is the Belgian Defoe. £7.5 million signing. Boyd, Marnie and Arfield are the other three midfielders in the quartet. And of course, it's unchanged up top with Andre Gray and Sam Bogues. There's something like 37 goals between them in the Championship last term. Pardon me, up front. Liverpool line-up with Simon Mignolet in goal. Keeps his place despite shipping in 3 soft goals last week at Arsenal. The back four, one change. Klein, Lovren, Clavan and Milner. Milner, of course, in the number 7. He comes in for Alberto Moreno, who was singled out for criticism. 2 holding midfielders, Jordan Henderson and Gigi Wijnaldum. The attacking midfield 3, amongst others, includes Adam Lallana, Firmino, who plays in the centre, and Coutinho plays the other side of him, and it's going to be Daniel Sturridge, the lone striker, up front. And they're going to play 4-5-1. And we'll have a look at the subs. For Burnley, Robinson, Tarkowski, Dawika, Gudmundsson, O'Neill, Kightly and Jukovic. For Liverpool, Alex Manninger, Matip, Alberto Moreno, Stewart, Chan, Grujic, the Slovakian, and Origi, the other striker. So we're all set to go then at Turf Moor. And the flag is very breezy here at the moment. And we see Stephen Defoe. Referee today, Lee Mason from Lancashire. Well, from Greater Manchester, I should say. So, a North West derby overseen by a North West referee. Away we go. Burnley, of course, in the current blue, but it's Liverpool in the fluorescent green kit. Almost like a group of health and safety workmen in a factory. They kick off, attacking the goal to our left, going from left to right. Burnley going from right to left. Burnley, for the record, attacking the David Fish weekend like they like to in the first half of games. And Liverpool going to the Jimmy McIlroy ending the course after that. After the 1960 Championship winning midfielder. It's a good atmosphere inside Turf Moor as Gray tries to get on early straight away, but was hounded up by a couple of defenders. Should be a cracking atmosphere. Daniel Sturridge in from the start, as you can probably gather. About a minute gone of the game, and Tom Heaton's already got his first few touches, and now you'll kick right-footed for off the ground for Burnley. Long ball there, but it'll go to the other goalkeeper. That's Belgian international Simon Mignolet. Both sides. It's a full house here today as the ball goes back to Mignolet. Now Klaveric plays the ball out towards Klein on the right hand side. Klein controls it and then plays a poor ball into the path of Gray and in towards Bogues. On the edge of the turns, right foot, scores! Sammy Vokes, what an absolute screamer! And that was a pure piece of opportunism from Burnley, a mistake from the right back Nathaniel Klein. It was a too casual ball to play, even at this early stage. It was given away to Andre Gray. He laid it into Sam Vokes on the edge of the D. He turned, swiveled, and smashed it in with his right foot into the back of the net. No judgment delay. And it's Burnley 1, Liverpool 0, with just around 2 minutes of the game gone. Sam Vokes scores his first ever Premier League goal, and what a way to get it. So Sam Vokes off the mark for the season and off the mark in the Premier League. What a fillip for the Clarets. Burnley 1, Liverpool 0. Can you believe it? Milner now, near side, tries to play it in towards Wijnaldum. He was tripped. Lee Mason right on the spot, so a free kick given to Liverpool. Midway inside the Burnley half. Well, the roof came off in an instant there. Sammy Vokes scored the goal which won promotion here against QPR. Scored that never to be forgotten third goal in the European Championships against Belgium for Wales. This is Milner down the Liverpool left, and in fact Burnley get a throw. Melton knocking the ball off a Liverpool man, and it will be a throw to the Clarets. Sean Dyche and Ian Wone, they couldn't have imagined the start there. Tony Loughran just on the bench there. Ian Wone, his assistant. Tony Loughran, the first team coach. As boy gets it down the right, and look at the way that Gray's got away from the defender, and really good tackle there from Dejan Lovren. Otherwise it could have been even more trouble for Liverpool. Broke towards the goal from the right, cutting field from the right, lovely ball on halfway by George Boyd, and he timed his run well, I have to say, Andre Gray. And early doors here with just 4 minutes gone, real problems for Jurgen Klopp's men. Martin back to Keane in his own area. Now Ben Mee. And the Burnley fans really getting behind their side, and they really make it difficult. And Liverpool now will have to come out, even at this early stage. But Klopp's teams like to play from the back, and that's always a bad sign, really. Although Gray, looking at the replay there, looks suspiciously offside, but was allowed to go on. It wasn't for Dejan Lovren's pace. Liverpool could have been 2-0 down. Burnley starting as they mean to go on here, and they started very, very well. Ball back to Tom Heaton. Well, as you probably heard on the channel last week in our delayed match against Swansea, as Gray goes on another sortie with his offside this time. Referee allowing it to go on because the ball's in Mignolet's hands. But last week against Swansea they had a few chances. They had 1 or 2 decisions go against them, possible penalty at 0-0, and then they committed a very bad they were very slack on the winning goal scored by Leroy Fer. They can't afford to switch off against the likes of Coutinho and Sturridge, although Sturridge has been a little bit out of sorts, and we saw him in the Euros despite scoring the winning goal against Wales. Well, there's a little incident there in the corner there. Gray obviously involved there. Liverpool player crashed in the advertising hoardings, and certainly them and the Burnley fans right down in that corner thought there was a decent challenge, but I think they were lucky for a corner actually. It now really puts the pressure on, and here's Boyd intercepting. Sturridge just not getting into it at all. There was a real bad touch there from Sturridge. Well, then Ward just casually lost out there. Now Burnley have to give it away again. Wijnaldum trying to take possession, but the ball just bouncing around, and Gray trying to get Boyd on his way. And the Liverpool defenders again, Klavan and Lovren almost getting in each other's way there. And that's not healthy, really. Here's Milner now to Wijnaldum, just inside the Burnley half now. Henderson has it. Henderson to Lallana, back to Henderson again. The two England lads linking up again. Now Firmino, number 11, into Ronaldo. Ronaldo, the Dutchman, trying to play it in there, but good defending there by Ben Mee, but only as far as Milner. 10 yards inside the Burnley half. Now Ronaldo takes possession. Plays it to Lallana. Over to the far side. This is Nathaniel Klein. It was his hair that led to that opening goal. Shot comes in, and it's wide this time from Daniel Sturridge. May have took a deflection. And there is the man in charge, Lee Mason. Has awarded the corner to Liverpool. It must have took a deflection. Corner taken quickly by Milner to Coutinho. Back to Milner again. Pulled back to the edge of the area. And here's Lallana. Turns. Good block there. And it was Defar, the new man who put his body on the line. Certainly fitting into Sean Dyche's team ethos straight away. Now Milner has it left hand side for Liverpool. Remember, in fluorescent green, would you believe? It's almost as if they're in high visibility jackets. Offered safety jackets, and it's a poor ball, and Firmino can't get on the end of it, and it's a throw level with their own penalty area near side to Burnley. Lead for a goal after 1 minute and 39 seconds from Sam Vokes. And that'll settle Burnley down. Defoe in there straight away. I've been very impressed by this 28-year-old Belgian. There's a player that Manchester United nearly signed about 4 or 5 years ago when he was in his early 20s. And Alex Ferguson was the manager at Manchester United. He got a serious injury, and Alex Ferguson, I believe, sent a personal letter wishing him all the best. Well, at least he's in England now, playing for a very good club. Here's Coutinho now trying to turn in. Right foot, tries to curl it from about 25 yards out and goes into the 8th row back in the Jimmy McIlroy lower tier for a goal kick. A little statistic for you guys. That's Burnley. Sam Vokes becomes the first Burnley goal scorer in the top flight of English football against Liverpool since Ray Hankin back in 1975. The last time Burnley won at Turf Moor was back in 1973-74, where Burnley won the game, and Kevin Keegan, who was then Liverpool's big star, missed a penalty. Whether or not Liverpool will get a penalty today was another matter, but certainly Milner was fouled there by Marnie just before halfway, just 5 yards from halfway, still inside the Liverpool half, and it will be a free kick to the men from Anfield. Nicknamed the Reds, of course, trying to get on with it quickly, but Lee Mason is telling them just to... Lee Mason just laying the law down as Henderson plays it in towards Sturridge. Sturridge about halfway inside the area, tries to lay it in there, but can't find Firmino, and it's easy for Tom Heaton. 10 minutes gone. And 1-0 it is to Burnley. We had all sorts of weather earlier on this morning. There was torrential rain, there's wind in the air. The sun's just come out now, literally a few moments ago. All we need is a bit of hail and thunder, and we'll have had all the weather, and we'll have all weathers in deepest Lancashire today. Burnley's next match, of course, is in the EFL Cup on Wednesday night against Accrington Stanley, a real Lancashire hot pot of a game that is. Another free kick given to Liverpool, which is not going down too well with the locals here. Foul on Sturridge, just 10 yards inside the Burnley half, and it's been taken quickly to Milner on the left hand side. Milner lays it in. Firmino back to Coutinho. Coutinho now right footed infield to Ronaldo, to Sturridge rather. Now Coutinho out to the near side, and here's Milner playing at left back today in preference to Moreno, as the shot comes in again right footed from Coutinho just outside the D, about 20 yards from goal, but he curls it again into the Jimmy McIlroy end for a goal kick again to the Clarets. And Burnley will be quite happy that they're restricting Burnley at the moment to a few long range efforts at the moment. Nothing to worry about here. so far. Tom Heaton in an all blue goalkeeping jersey and shorts and socks, of course, with the goal kick, right footed over the halfway line, and looked as if Vokes was being held there by the defender there. And here's Ronaldo to Milner. Milner in turn to Lallana. Good little dummy there to Coutinho. And here's Firmino, given away to Arfield. Arfield gets it over halfway line. A chase there for Claren. And Lovren, but it was well swept up by Simon Mignolet, who had no chance on that swivel and shot. Right-footed shot from Sam Vokes. Edge of the D. That's how he got his goal. Real pure football genius that was on the Clarets. Real sheer piece of opportunism. Liverpool were recording their third strip. And they do. That's the only thing at the moment that's looking bright, apart from the strip and Firmino and Coutinho. But here's Boyd intercepting a loose pass, and then just sort of slips on the turf, and then for one reason or another, Lee Mason has decided that's a foul by Boyd, when quite frankly he slipped, and if he's handled the ball, I think he's dead unlucky. I think the referee was a little bit hesitant there, and he's getting the bird for one or two Claret supporters here at the moment, coming up towards a quarter of an hour of the first half, and it's gone so very, very quick. Burnley lead Liverpool by a goal to 0. Liverpool predictably having all the possession though. Here's Milner though. Infield it goes to Coutinho, now into Sturridge. At 25 yards from goal, it's out towards the left again. To Milner, now Coutinho. Coutinho into the penalty area, really goal done. And Lallana crossing it in, and Michael Keane got the first touch there as he tried to cross it back towards Firmino, and it will be a corner to Liverpool. The ball in behind. That's the first time Liverpool have tried to get in behind that Burnley defence, but no way past at the moment as Milner takes another corner near side. Again, a header easily won by Keane, and another throw level with the edge of the Burnley penalty area this time. Coutinho down the left hand side. Lallana left of the D tries to cut in to the penalty area, the left hand side of it, and in the end Milner can't keep it in. In fact, he's actually conceded a throw rather than a goal kick. He looks a handful, and I think he'll be Andre Gray. Look very good on the counter attack. There he is, number 7. Cost nearly £6.5 million last summer. Was brought to the club by former sporting director Frank McPartland. Came alongside Joey Barton, of course. Came to prominence with Brentford, joining there from non-league, and made his name there, getting promotion from League One, and then doing well in his first Championship season 2 years ago. He's persuaded Sean Dyche to part with £6.5 million to get him to replace Danny Ings, and I think he's justified his tag. In fact, I think he's a better all-round player than what Ings was. Ings wasn't blessed with the greatest of pace that Gray will have, and Liverpool attacking again, crossing from the right hand side, but Lawton having to knock it out for a corner for Liverpool, and they're going to take it from the far side this time. The men who's changed stripper in a sort of a fluorescent yellowish green, and it's back to for Coutinho. Coutinho kicks it low. Almost came through to Ronaldo, but it's Burnley hooking it away, and a chance here for Gray. First touch was a little heavy, and you'd think Klein will just about get there. He had a little bit of a 2-yard head start there on Gray, and that was sufficient enough for Klein just to concede a throw and win the race there with Gray. And tell you what, if it had been level, I'll tell you what, that would have been close. First half possession so far in the opening quarter of an hour, 25% for Burnley, 75% with Liverpool, but Liverpool have done next to nothing really with their 75%. Burnley with their 25%, however, have scored the only goal of the game. Came after a minute and a half from Sammy Vokes. And this is Lawton just having to touch it back to his goalkeeper. Safety first, and Heaton, Mr. Reliable, hooks it away, but now it's all really about who's got the will now. Again Lovren A little bit lacklustre then. Vokes almost came there and pinched the ball, and if it had been pinched then, it would have been trouble for Liverpool, and almost certainly more joy there for the Clarets. And Lawton again. Good first time cross, but just a little too close there for Mignolet. Took a comfortable catch round about his penalty spot area, albeit with no great pressure, and he's got Lallana on his way over halfway. Over to the far side this time. And Ronaldo now will cut inside, 20 forward. And this is Milner now on the other flank. Into Sturridge, almost centre of the field. Knocks it long into the penalty area, and a cool chest back there by Stephen Ward, who's experienced enough to know that's basic defending, and got it back to Tom Heaton. No fuss. And Defoe now, who's sharpened in the first 17-18 minutes in a Burnley shirt, and Defoe wins the second ball again and tries to play a 1-2 with Sam Vokes. That almost came off, but it's got into touch. Nice idea to back flick it there from Vokes over on the left hand side, but he just couldn't succeed getting the foe on his way again. $20,000 or so tickets sold out. That's 4 or 5 hours before the kick-off earlier this morning. This is Sturridge now over halfway inside the centre circle. Now just drifts out to the left hand side. Klein has it, and he plays it back to his former Southampton colleague Adam Lallana. Now Sturridge picks it up again. Coutinho midway inside the Burnley half, turns, lifts the ball in, and well left by Stephen Ward. Left it to his goalkeeper. He got a clear shout to keepers, and Heaton took the ball again under no great pressure. Took a little bit of criticism on the goal that won Swansea the game when he parried it, as we see a picture of Sammy Lee there, the new assistant manager of England, of course, Sam Allardyce. And they've also recruited Leicester's assistant manager Craig Shakespeare, the man credited along with Ranieri for spearheading the Foxes' unlikely charge to the title last season. He's been appointed this team coach. I think that's a good move from big Sam Allardyce. England's first match, of course, in less than 2 weeks' time, as they start their World Cup qualifying campaign. Russia 2018, just less than 2 years away now. Here's James Milner now for Liverpool. Interfield to Coutinho. Now Ronaldo. Now Coutinho out to the far side, and Klein. Klein cuts in field. Into Coutinho, and then Lallana had it and then slipped about 25 yards from goal, and Boyd now takes possession onto Sam Vokes. Almost got it through to Gray, who had timed his run well, but it was well cut out though by Dejan Lovren. And we're coming up now to exactly 20 minutes gone in the first half, and nothing to choose between the two teams in terms of the way they've gone about their business, but it's 1-0 to Burnley. Liverpool, of course, having the possession, and well, we might have some play in the cricket next door, Burnley Cricket Club there in the old Lancashire League. Well, that's where Jimmy Anderson, the England fast bowler, started his trade off. And we're back with the football now, and it's Milner now infield, and Lallana now into the path of Coutinho, left hand side, but it's been cut in field. Chance here for Ronaldo. Good play this from Liverpool, but Ben Mee getting it away. Poor ball in really by Nathaniel Klein, low and flat. Ben Mee, meat and drink to him. One of Burnley's players of the year last year, of course, in a key component. He replaced Mike Duff in the start around about the start of the year, after that crushing defeat at Hull on December the 26th, the Boxing Day fixture at Hull, where they crashed a 3-0 defeat, and it looked as if their promotion hopes had gone up in smoke. But that 23 match unbeaten run took them to the championship title and ultimate promotion, and he's never looked back since coming into the team. Ben Mee done magnificently well in 2016, and here come Liverpool again with James Milner just inside the penalty area on the left hand side. Infield towards Lallana, swivels and shoots, but with his right foot, but tamely this time, not like Sam Vokes who hit it true with fantastic power. Sort of scuffed it Lallana, and Heaton diving away to his left hand side was able to gather it in. To his right hand side, Robert was able to gather it in, no problem at all. 22 minutes of the game gone, coming up towards the halfway mark of what's been a pretty good first half of real cat and mouse football. Liverpool have been doing all the doing all the pressing and all the possession, but Burnley have really caught them on the counter and have actually forced Liverpool with all the traps that Burnley have set. They've really fallen into them. But here's Coutinho left hand side, and the ball just too overhit for Sturridge, and he chased the lost course, to be fair, but Tom Heaton was always going to get there first before the England international. Here's Stefan Defoe. Infield again to Marnie, who amazingly so far is yet to be booked. Attempts 1 for Burnley, 6 for Liverpool, and on target we've had 1 for Burnley, 1 for Liverpool, and 1 out of 1 for Burnley. 1 shot, 1 goal. And that's the difference between the two sides at the moment. And it doesn't matter if Burnley had 100% possession or 1% possession. It doesn't matter. Possession statistics don't win football matches. Ball out towards the far side. Burnley having a little bit of ball now, which is good signs for them. There's Defoe. He's done very well. He interfered to Marnie. 10 yards inside his own inside the Liverpool half, and then just plays a really bad pass there. Just overcooked the long pass towards Lowton on the near side, and it ran into touch for a goal kick. Well, we're halfway through the first half then at Turf Moor, and I have to say with great relish that Burnley have really held their own against Liverpool. Remember, they scored 4 cracking goals against Arsenal last week, but they were very suspect in that live commentary we brought to you from the Emirates last Sunday afternoon. But they were very, very suspect, I thought, in defence, and Burnley have exploited that weakness. They've got 2 new centre backs, and Lovren and Kramaric still trying to feel each other out here at the moment. And it's and of course Moreno, well, if he was criticised by Jurgen Klopp, his replacement James Milner hasn't really done as much really defensively. In an attack-minded sense, Milner's done okay. He's made some good runs down the right hand side, but so far these balls in from the likes of Coutinho, Milner, Ronaldo, Klein, they're just not penetrating enough, and it's eat and drink for Burnley. As Milner kept that in play, I think he has, and it's infield now to Lallana. Lallana tries to play it in behind Coutinho, trying to get across in, but again Michael Keane gets a foot in and gets it behind for a corner. 25 minutes of the first half played at Turf Moor. Burnley second game back in the Barclays Premier League, or the Premier League as it's now known, as Lallana, edge of the area, shoots, gets a big deflection, but it falls very kindly for Tom Heaton, who has to just dodge a couple of defenders and takes the ball again under no great pressure. Kicks it away right footed over the halfway line. Over 3/4 of the way up the field it was, and then Scott Arfield putting his body on the line to stop that through pass from Nathaniel Klein on the Liverpool right hand side. Jurgen Klopp there in his tracksuit, his jacket, and a baseball cap a la Tony Pulis, would you believe? Tony Pulis with glasses. And here's George Boyd in there for Burnley, and what about that for Dean Martin? Oh, referee! Oh, Lee Mason, I thought he was a little bit quick there to judge that tackle. I thought that was a clean tackle for Money. He certainly got the ball for me. And no wonder the referee's getting all sorts of stick. Dean Marley said I got the ball. Boyd won it there. Well, there's nothing wrong with that tackle at all. He's gone in there. There's no stud showing, in my opinion. And I think the referee, who was in a very good situation to see that, I have to say, I thought got that decision wrong. Fair tackle, and Burnley could have been onto something there. But I thought the referee was a little bit trigger happy there, and I think he should have played on. As it is, it's Liverpool now. The free kick was taken, but it didn't come to anything, thank God, and maybe a little bit of justice in that. As George Boyd tries to swivel away now, and in fact wins the goal kick off James Milner. Did well, actually, to be fair, George Boyd. It's the only thing he could possibly do. He had to clear his line somehow. Well, the other way he could have done it was to clear it by James Milner and behind for the goal kick. Dimani is the cry from the Burnley fans. I think they enjoyed that tackle. They knew that was a good tackle, and most of Turf Moor knew that was a good tackle. Unfortunately, the man whose opinion counts more than anybody's didn't think so. And still it remains 1-0 rather to Burnley. That second minute goal from Sam Vokes, as we're coming up to now 2 minutes shy of the half-hour mark. And what's now, well, the weather now is becoming a little bit overcast here. And here's James Milner now for Burnley, for Liverpool rather. And here's Lovren now, far side. Liverpool defence really finding wanting there on that opening goal. Nathaniel Klein's back pass wasn't the best. And here's James Milner, halfway line, playing at left back today, we won't forget, and that'll be a tough old baptism for him. He's usually a further forward thinking player. He's not noted too much for his defensive qualities. And here is Klein. Oh, this could be trouble here. Sturridge tries the shot and just wide of the post there, the far post, and it's a goal kick in the end for the Clarets. But Sturridge there, first time we've seen him explode as an attacking force, and he got his shot in with pretty good venom, but just wide it went. And a goal kick it is. And Liverpool really not playing well enough for me. There was talk, I believe there was talk actually last week after Liverpool had won against Arsenal that they were going to be in line for the Championship. Well, defensively I don't think they're good enough. I think Klopp needs to buy a new central defender, I think. And at the moment they've lost Marnie, of course, to an injury. Danny Ings is being overlooked at the moment by Klopp. It would have been a nice third dimensional edge to the proceedings if Danny Ings had been included in the 16 today, but Klopp didn't decide to use him, which could well be a mistake. Apart from that one chance earlier on from Sturridge, just now, he hasn't really featured much. Origi, well, he's a striker, of course, that blows hot and cold, but you know what you get with Danny Ings. His work rate and his commitment and his goal scoring is second to none. And I think Jurgen Klopp, in my opinion, I'm speaking purely as a layman here, and not because I'm a little bit Burnley biased, and I know Danny Ings, I've commentated on him for the last, and just watched his performances for the last 2 years in a Burnley shirt when he's really come to the party. Discarding him like that, I think, is a joke. He's injury free now, he's fully fit now. Get him in the Liverpool team. If not, don't bother using him. As Liverpool keep possession, and here's Sam Vokes trying to get the ball forward, but it was well cut out in the end. And now it's with Milner near side in towards Sturridge. Sturridge can't get it through. Loughton's there, and Milner gets the ball back once again. And Coutinho tries to play through for Gini Ronaldo, but that's going to run into touch or a goal kick to the Clarets. We've played 30 minutes of the first half. We're into the 32nd minute, and we've got one of two applause for two Burnley fans who have unfortunately departed. The first one is in memory of Chris Walker, and he Passed away, and we've got 2 Capital One Cup ties to come. First of all, Burton against Liverpool, that's on the Tuesday night, so full commentary from that clash at the Pirelli Stadium. And then the Clarets in action again. We're going to be showing them live for the first time this season in the EFL Cup. They take on local neighbours, Accrington Stanley. Again, you'll hear that with us on the JB Claret channel. Here's Coutinho now for Liverpool rather. Having a lot of the possession but not making good use of it so far. Coutinho has probably been Liverpool's best player by far, and a lot will be relied upon him this season to produce the goods as Milner crosses in from the left hand side. And again, it's such a comfortable bit of defending there for Burnley as James Milner goes on a canter forward. Milner now cuts back. 33 minutes gone, and it's Loughton. It deflects off, and it will be a corner. And the corner taken short this time, and Ben Mee was very quick to read that situation now as Gray now breaks out of defence. Gray tries to take on all comers. He was surrounded by 4 fluorescent shirted Liverpool men, and in the end he was tackled, but credit for him to try to take on all them Liverpool defenders at once, and in the end they got back and got some fair tackles in on him. Gray will terrorise Premier League defenders with his undoubted quality and his undoubted pace, and that is there for all to see. I've been impressed with him so far in the Premier League, Gray, and I think he'll be terrific for them. Here's Lallana now, the former Southampton man, in towards Coutinho. Coutinho looks a long ball out towards the far side. Good defending again by Stephen Ward, this time the Burnley left back, who's done a fine job at left back so far when he's needed to for Burnley. Coming up towards 34 minutes of the first half gone. Burnley 1, Liverpool 0. 2nd minute goal from Sam Vokes. Here's Coutinho. Milner in a bit of space on the left hand side, but it won't find him. Badly overhit by Philip Coutinho, and that's a throw to Burnley, and they'll be happy with that. James Milner actually retired from international duty after the Euros. Only got 3 minutes in the European Championships, which I thought was a bit of a disgrace, to be quite honest. He badly underused, I thought, by Roy Hodgson. I think Roy got it badly wrong, and to be fair, I was really glad when he lost his job, to be fair. No one likes to see their job being lost, but Roy Hodgson, the worst England manager for a long, long time, probably since Graham Taylor and Steve McLaren. Ronaldo, who's been signed from Newcastle United, of course. This is Sturridge now trying to turn away. Good tackle by Stephen Defoe. Nothing wrong with that at all. Sturridge was probably looking for it a little bit there. And he was up very quickly. Defoe now knocking it on towards Vokes. Vokes again. Ball up towards Gray. Far side. Gray. Oh, he's absolutely... Well, he's used his strength to see off Dejan Lovren, according to the referee, unfairly. Well, there was nothing wrong with that challenge, I didn't think at all. I do think the referees in this Premier League are a little bit quick to judge, and obviously Burnley, well, there's what the Burnley fans think of Lee Mason. The chant is, you're not fit to referee. Here come Liverpool though, left hand side, infield to Lallana. Lallana inside the penalty area. Lallana gets the shot in, charged down there by Marnie. That's what you call putting your body on the line. But Burnley have it again. Milner knocks it in. And Loughton winning the header. Now Boyd knocking it forward. And Henderson doing very well there for Liverpool, getting it back. And that'll be mopped up again by Burnley. On ball forward this time up towards halfway line. And here's James Milner again on the left hand side. 36 minutes gone. Burnley 1, Liverpool 0. The goal after 2 minutes from Sam Vokes, his first ever Premier League goal. Here's Philip Coutinho to Sturridge. Sturridge intercepted, and here comes Stefan Defoe, the Belgian, and he strides over the halfway line. Goes away from one challenge. He's got Gray to his right. Here's Gray now. Right to the D. Cuts inside. Edge of the area. Shoots left foot. In the corner it goes! Andre Gray with a superb goal! But let's give Stefan Defoe credit. He got away from two challenges. Played it to the right hand side. Gray cut inside. He shook up a defender and had enough space to get his shot in with the left foot. And he went beyond the despairing dive of Simon Mignolet. And it was enough. Definitely onside as the ball was played through to Gray. Beats one man, beats another, gets the shot in left-footed. Into the far corner it goes. And it's 2-0 Burnley. And the roof has come off the stadium. And Liverpool can complain. They've had about 85% possession or whatever it is. But the main statistic that counts, Burnley have had the ball in the net twice. Not once, but twice. And it's Vokes and Gray are on the double for Burnley. Burnley 2 now, Liverpool 0. What drama. And now here comes Clyde, far side for Liverpool. And here is Sturridge. Liverpool are rocked now. They're rocking on the brink. Inside the last 10 minutes of the first half. Vokesy, Andre is the cry from the Burnley fans. Heard absolutely next to nothing from the Liverpool fans. They can turn around and say that, well, we've had 80% of the possession line, but at the end of the day, it's what you do. Here's Firmino. And the ball back, and shot comes in. I think it might have been Coutinho. It was well blocked in the end. And Burnley now living the dream. 2 up against Liverpool. I haven't beaten Liverpool in this very ground since 1973, remember. The last win in the top flight. As we just break off for a second. As the ball comes in, shot comes in. And it's easy there. It was Nathaniel Klein cutting in, hitting it with his left foot, but easy for Tom Heaton. Claimed it, caught it well into his midriff at the near post. Really good goalkeeping. Of course, Burnley's last win in the top flight in either Turf Moor or Anfield came at 1974 at Anfield, a 1-0 win, and they were going for the league title in those days. Remember, Burnley have won the league championship only twice. Liverpool have won it a whopping 18 times, second in terms of league titles behind Manchester United, who won against Southampton last night. This is Firmino now. He's come to the left-hand side. Firmino's low cross, and Sturridge couldn't just get in there. And Burnley just did enough defensively. Me and Keane between him just smuggled it away. And Gray and Vokes now trying to put Lovren under pressure. Now he's back with Mignolet, who's had no chance on either goal. 2 goals of pure genius from Burnley, from Vokes and from Gray. 5 to go to half time, and it's looking grim for Jurgen Klopp, who sometimes you can't help but love. But Sean Dyche, as Gary Lineker said on Match of the Day last week, boy, have I missed that gravelly voice. And but he speaks a lot of truth in his gravelly voice, Sean Dyche. And they didn't play Burnley against Swansea last week, and they haven't played Burnley here today, even though they've been defending for most of the half. But 2 beautiful goals, one a goal of opportunism, and a second goal which was on the counter-attack, set up by Stefan Defoe, the new boy they signed during the week. As Liverpool come forward to try and pull one back. Coutinho, edge of the penalty area. Coutinho shoots, it's too far over the top. He's frustrated, so are Liverpool. But Burnley are jubilant, and with 41 minutes gone, it's Burnley who are in command. They're 2 up. And Coutinho, who's possibly been Liverpool's best player, if not. Look at the attempts now. 2 attempts for Burnley, whopping 13 for Liverpool. But this is the 2 each on target. Burnley have scored from both shots on target, and that, I'm afraid to say, Liverpool fans, that has been the difference. And you can say, Liverpool fans, without being disrespectful to them, they can turn around and say, well, we had a lot of the play, we had a lot of possession, we've had over an 81% of possession. It doesn't matter. It's football. Football matches are won by how many goals you score, and Liverpool have got none, and Burnley, who are 2 up, have been caught offside through Andre Gray. The officials haven't been exactly great, but that's not detracted from. It's been a great game of cat and mouse between 2 traditional names in English football. Burnley with that old-fashioned 4-4-2. Burnley, Liverpool, of course, with the 5 in midfield. Can convert to a 4-3-3 if needs be with the 2 wingers. Sturridge now towards Klein. Back to Sturridge again on the halfway line on the right-hand side. Now Lovren has it halfway line to the right-hand side. It goes. Nathaniel Klein it is. But again back to Lovren. And Burnley with everybody back now in their own half now, virtually behind the ball, but it's gone to the right hand side here, and it's James Milner. There's no way through this 2 banks of 4 that Burnley are setting up, and it's playing into their hands now, and it's frustrating Liverpool. Here Sturridge inside the area. Burnley players staying on their feet, not tempted to slide in at all. Michael Keane got a little bit fortunate there, had 2 goals at the cherry on his own 6-yard line to get it away. Here's Andre Gray. He's not stopped running this half, and he's deserved his goal. And here he is again getting the ball back from Defoe. And now, Defoe, first bad touch he's had in the match, but it's not going to cost him anything more than a throw. But he's had a decent debut. I've really enjoyed seeing him play. He's going to be a great asset. And Sean Dyche has hinted in the pre-match press conference that he reckons the Burnley transfer record could be smashed even further before the winter's out. Here's James Milner crossing too high towards Sturridge. He was clearly fouling Stephen Ward, and he can moan and shake his head all he wants, but every day of the week the referee will always hear on the side of the caution towards the defending side, and that was a clear foul on Stephen Ward by Daniel Sturridge. No 2 ways about that as we come towards the last minute of normal time at Turf Moor. In Burnley's 2nd game back off the top after 12 months out of the Premier League, and they're leading 2-0. And what a way to bounce back from such a disappointing and heartbreaking defeat last week against Swansea. And they bounced back in the best possible way. Yes, they might not have had the possession, and the Liverpool fans might comment below and tell me that, but in the end, even they know. And Neil Kennelly, who was a Claret, he's 44 years old. He died. He went missing a few days before, but he was found unfortunately dead, and it's caused a great deal of distress in Burnley. And big Claret supporter, and that's what the applause in the background, the second applause of the afternoon, is for. I'm sure the 2 Burnley fans who sadly died will be looking down on this stadium as we got 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half, and will be quite chipper and proud looking down on the game from the pearly gates and thinking that's our boys and they're doing us proud. And it's a nice touch from everyone in the ground there, paying tribute to the 2 Burnley fans who sadly died this week, and they're both locals lads as well. So we're 30 seconds inside the 1 extra minute. This is Firmino now, left hand side. This will be probably the last attack. This is Milner now on the overlap, back in field to Coutinho, almost edge of the penalty area, and Coutinho has to turn, gets the cross in, and the ball back, and Scott Arfield just hoists it up towards halfway. 15 seconds of the 1 minute to go, and then that will be surely it then, and Lee Mason will blast the last time on his whistle, and we can take well, from Burnley's point of view, they'll be able to take a well-earned half-time cup of tea. We're over the 1 minute, and Arfield intercepts. Lee Mason, whistle to his mouth, brings the first half to an end, and a standing ovation from the Burnley supporters as they're going 2 goals ahead Yes, they might have only had just about 20% possession, but what they've done with it is nothing short of a miracle. Goals from Sam Vokes and Andre Gray have proved the difference. And at half-time here, it's Burnley 2, Liverpool 0. And we'll be back for the second half in a couple of minutes' time. Welcome back to Turf Moor for the start of the second half. As Burnley about to get us underway, attacking the goal to our left in this second half. And off we go. Really good performance from the Clarets so far. And thoroughly deserved on the balance of play, one has to say. Still a good atmosphere inside Turf Moor. No changes from either side. We'll recap the two teams for you as we go along in the second half. Here's Anderson near side for Liverpool. They're attacking the David Fish weekend, where 2,000 of their supporters are based. They've sold all their allocation of tickets as Klein gets that ball forward towards Sturridge, and Sturridge gets a chance here in the opening 50 seconds of the second half, and he drags it wide at the far post. A little bit of a mistake there in the Burnley defence, and the right foot Sturridge finds it wide, and we've played a minute. And let's recap the two teams. Burnley with Heaton in goal, back four of Loughton, Keane, me and Ward. Midfield quartet, Boyd, Marnie, Defar and Arfield, and it's Box and Bray up front, both the goal scorers for Burnley this afternoon. Liverpool with Mingale in goal, back four of Klein, Lovren, Clavan and Milner. Two holding midfielders, Henderson and Wijnaldum. Three attacking midfielders, Lallana, Firmino and Coutinho, and it's Daniel Sturridge up front. So no further changes from either side as Folks cuts inside again. With one inside the Liverpool half. Good ball out towards Andre Gray, can't keep it in, but it will be a throw to Liverpool. They've played pretty well today, Burnley. They haven't had too much possession, as I mentioned in the first half, but what they've done with that possession has been nothing short of superb. And they thoroughly deserve their 2-goal buffer right now, the Clarets. That's Michael Keane winning a header and a throw right on halfway line to Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp in a very, very bad mood. Sent the players out pretty early after half time. Looks as if they've had a bit of a set to in that Liverpool changing room. I'd love to have been a final more in that Liverpool changing rooms because they were terrible. Clavan's ball there, just asking a little bit of James Milner. Clavan, who's won over 100 caps for Estonia. Bit of a bargain signing there by Jurgen Klopp, £400 million, I believe. A few eyebrows were raised when he came. Here is now Clavan to Lovren, his new centre-back partner. A little bit all over the place on some of the Arsenal goals last weekend at the Emirates. Certainly found wanting at set plays when Chambers made it 4-3. I was found wanting on commentary as well. I was looking at one or two comments as we were live. We always look at the comment section during live matches. This particular game you're listening to is a delayed commentary. But we will be back live with 2 League Cup matches during the week involving both Liverpool and Burnley against Burton and Accrington respectively. And the Liverpool-Burton game, that should be good. 18. There's been 12 goals scored in Burton's 2 games so far in the Championship. So they do like scoring goals, although they've shipped a few themselves. I enjoyed watched highlights of their 4-3 defeat the other week at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest, and they really applied themselves. It'll be a tough test for Liverpool down at the Pirelli Stadium on Tuesday evening. And then on Wednesday night, it's the Lancashire Hot Pot. And even though Burnley's biggest rivals are Blackburn Rovers, Accrington Stanley's right next door to them. And sort of a gateway between Burnley and Blackburn. And so this will be their first big derby for many, many years. And it'll be the first derby that Burnley have had to play a competitive match against the reformed Accrington Stanley. Their last competitive match between the two teams was under the old Accrington Stanley regime, which folded back in the early 60s. And Stanley was so close to getting up automatically last year, denied on the last day of the regular season, and then were denied by Wimbledon and Akin Fenwa, who's now moved on to pastures new since then. They went on to win the playoffs, by the way. Here's Sturridge now, deep inside Burnley territory. Coutinho tries the shot and it's straight down Tom Heaton's throat. Shot from about 20 yards. Easy meat and drink for the England goalkeeper. The Brazilian Coutinho there just firing it straight at the goalkeeper. 5 minutes gone in the second half then. And at the moment, nothing really of any significance that Tom Heaton has had to do yet. He's not been required to make a meaningful save in the match. And despite Liverpool having about 75%, an estimated 75% possession in the game, Burnley have been not even troubled once. And that will be a concern for Jurgen Klopp, but it'll be a brilliant plus for Burnley. And if they can play like that most weeks, they could certainly stay up, no problem. It's Greg gets on the shoulder of the last defender, and Cleveland just about got back there and played it back to Mignolet. There was no intention of a pass back or anything. There was no great appeals, just an applause from Andre Gray for the ball over the top from George Boyd. Liverpool up against it here, trailing by 2-0. Goals in the second minute and 37 minutes from Sam Vokes and Andre Gray respectively. This is Firmino, 25 yards up. Firmino with a shot, and the goalkeeper Heaton having to dive to his right hand side. Had to scamper a bit, and that's the first meaningful save he's had to make with almost 52 minutes gone of the match. Turns it out for yet another Liverpool corner, taken short this time. Henderson crosses, headed out by Keane, and then Defoe just hacks it away for a throw almost level with the Burnley penalty area to Liverpool. They were forced Heaton into a save after 52 minutes. Keane with another cross dealt with. Crossing from the right hand side to left hand side this time. Ball played in field to Ronaldo. Ronaldo to Klein. Klein 25 yards out and Scott Arfield. Body on the line, prepared to block the shot from Nathaniel Klein. He can. He's got a good shot on him. Not the first time Nathaniel Klein has made a big mistake that's led to a Burnley goal. As we just see Sturridge there trying to find something around for Liverpool, but again good defence again. This is Lallana now. Lallana turns, gets it on towards Firmino. Right hand side, gets the cross in. Well left by Ben Mee and all the back four, and that will be kept in. Well, it looked as if it was. Well, I thought that had gone out there. The referee will be lynched by the Burnley fans if this turns out to be a goal for Liverpool, because that should not have been carry on. And it comes out again to Sturridge, who absolutely hits it in the Liverpool fans. But the referee and the officials really getting the bird, because how on earth could they not spot? James Milner, certainly in my opinion, and I'm looking at the replay, did not keep the ball in. That looked 2 yards out of play. How the referee and his official there on the far side did not spot that is a mystery. That is a bad mistake by the officials, and that could have cost Burnley. If that had cost Burnley a goal, there'd have been uproar in the stadium. Let me tell you that. And again, another decision goes against the Clarets. Liverpool do get the bulk of the decisions, but I'm not saying this to say sour grapes. I'm basing what I'm saying now on what I saw. And if Lee Mason and he's, I don't know who the official is on the far side, but they cannot spot a simple throwing decision, then they shouldn't even be fit to referee. And no wonder the referee's coming for a bit of criticism from the Burnley fans. Here's Klein now, near side to Firmino. Firmino now playing it in there, and Sturridge can't control it, and it's back by Keane to Heaton. Finds some folks almost on the halfway line. And then the ball trying to find Andre Gray. Never going to reach the Burnley striker. We've got the second goal, of course, and it will be a throw to Liverpool. Deep inside their own half, taken by Lovren. Back to Mignolet. Now Cloven. Cloven now onto Wijnaldum. Another signing from Newcastle United. Dutch international, of course. His side didn't qualify for the European Championships, if you remember. Here's Wijnaldum again, far side. Liverpool struggling here. This is Lallana to Ronaldo. Game just being played on the Liverpool left, and now it's gone to the right. This is Klein, faced by Scott Arfield. Now in field to Coutinho. Now Sturridge has it. Now Henderson tries his luck. Gets it to Klein. Klein will try and run at Arfield, and Arfield stands his ground, stops him, and Ward just gets it into touch, and it will be a Liverpool throw with 10 minutes of the second half gone. And there's going to be a little bit of a reshuffle here for Burnley, as Stefan Defoe is about to make way to replace by one of the Iceland heroes, Johan Berg Gudmundsson, one of the many heroes in that magnificent run by Iceland in the European quarter-finals. He will play, I would fancy, on the left wing, with Scott Arfield moving to the centre to partner Di Marni in the centre of midfield. And he can play, he's a very versatile midfield, Scott Arfield, so maybe Gudmundsson will play on the left hand side of midfield with Scott Arfield going into the centre. So a little bit of a tactical reshuffle by Burnley, but not in formation, just Gudmundsson will go to the wing and Arfield will go into the centre to partner Di Marni. Here's Firmino for Liverpool. 10 minutes of the second half gone. Yeah, yet to make a change. And the ball in behind. Lallana tried to cross it in, but Ben Mee, like many other Burnley defenders, have just stood big, not been tempted to slide in, and have just blocked everything that's been thrown at them. And it will be another corner. They've had a lot of those corners, Liverpool, but they haven't done much else with them. And here is another corner to be taken by Jordan Henderson. Henderson whips that in with a lot of pace, but it comes out here as far as Coutinho shoots, and shoots wide, left-footed, wide of the target, and it will be a goal kick to Burnley. Box with a half clearance, and Coutinho just catching it all wrong on his left foot, going wide of Tom Heaton's right-hand post. So 2-0 it remains as we come up towards an hour mark. An hour gone, 15 minutes of the second half almost completed, and it's still those 2 goals from Messrs Vokes and Gray that are going to be the difference as Gudmundsson gets his first touch, applies it into Arfield, and Arfield now to Vokes deep inside Liverpool territory. Now it's back over the halfway line, and it's Ben Mee now with the ball to Keane, tracked by 2 fluorescent Liverpool players, and that's a good ball in behind, but it's well clicked up by the defender as Boyd was chasing that one. Boyd isn't blessed with too much pace really, but at the moment Liverpool can't break down this sturdy looking Burnley back 4, that 2 banks of 4, and well, it's fantastic to see Burnley now really doing well, and it's great stuff from Burnley at the moment. It's really is. And Burnley fans having a good bit of fun here this afternoon as Lovren now feeds it into Henderson. Henderson looking for Coutinho now, Firmino. Liverpool looking for a way through but not finding it at the moment. This is Klein now, right hand side. Klein in field to Firmino. And now Coutinho. Coutinho turns back. And now Henderson has it. Plays a long ball out towards Milner, far side, but well intercepted again by Matt Lowton. He's done terrific again. Right back today. Coming up towards an hour gone. Burnley so comfortable at the moment, even though they've only had about 20% possession. Giving Liverpool no room to shoot at any opportunity. No way to pick their passes through. And at the moment, the more players Liverpool pour forward as this second half goes by, as we come up towards 15 minutes gone, an hour gone in the match. As the cross comes in, it's a goal kick. So 15 minutes of the second half gone, an hour of the match gone. And still Liverpool nowhere near troubling the scorers today. Concern on Mr. Klopp's face, minus the baseball cap from the first half. His first ever visit to Turf Moor, the former Borussia Dortmund manager, who won the German double, Bundesliga and German Cup, back in 2012. Came close to winning the Champions League, of course, at Wembley a year later against the old foes of Bayern Munich. Here's Lowton again. A bit of a hit, that cross from the right hand side. It goes behind for a goal kick to Liverpool. But Lowton won't be too worried about that. Neither should Burnley. Sean Dyche, he's been a manager now for 5 years, and he knows, he's shrewd enough to know that the game's not over until that final whistle's been sounded. And still a good half an hour plus any time added on at the end. And after this commentary, after this delayed commentary, you'll be able to hear from Sean Dyche, of course, and how his team have progressed, and of course we'll be giving the man of the match award, and we'll be telling you what's coming up in terms of live football in the next few days, of course. Not to mention another couple of games involving Burnley, of course, away from home against Accrington in the Cup, and Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Could be a long afternoon for them there again, as the cross comes in from the far side, but it's well cut out again by Michael Keane. Burnley have been superb to a man in defence. 2 banks of 4 really stretching catching Liverpool really well, and another corner this time. And Liverpool have had all the corners under the sun. They've had everything go their way in corner counts and free kicks and possession, but the one thing that's against them is the scoreline, and that's what it is. 2-0. And it's a corner taken by Milner, far side. Heaton came, just flapped at it a bit and got away with it. I think he might have got a little glove on that, and it will be another corner. Heaton went through the crowd to get it on the edge of his own 6-yard area. I think he just got a little flabber on it, and it is another corner kick. Just making sure that there's no pushing and shoving. There's a lot of jostling possibly going on in that penalty area. Inside the areas. Lallana this time takes the corner near side. Well intercepted here with great authority from Arfield. And if he gets Gray away here, it could be a possibility, but there was too many fluorescent green Liverpool shirts back. But Arfield has somehow won possession. But he hasn't got the greatest of pace, but he's kept it well down the left-hand side. Plays it towards Johan Gudmundsson. And here's Sam Vokes into the penalty area. Stopped just about by Klein. Otherwise, it could have been curtains there for Liverpool if Vokes had kept his head and got the shot away. Then it could have easily been curtains for Liverpool in terms of this game. They were all talking about, would Liverpool be championship material, maybe top 4 material after what happened at Arsenal last week. Well, defensively, they've not looked the goods so far to be challenging the top 4. This is Coutinho. Maybe they need to get another centre back in. At the moment, Burnley are defending as if their lives are depending on it, and doing exceptionally well. Coming up towards 64 minutes gone. First change of the afternoon, and it's going to be Origi for Sturridge. He's had a couple of sighters, but Divock Origi will come on and try and add a bit more dimension. He's going to be playing up on his own, just like Sturridge was for the opening 64 minutes of the game. But he reckons Divock Origi might just give them that little bit of extra edge. So both teams have made a change each. Gudmundsson on for Burnley and Origi on for Liverpool. And this is Lovren. Midway inside the Burnley half, I should say. Back to Lovren again. Burnley still leading by 2-0. Goals from Vokes and Gray. And I'm never going to tire of saying that now for the remainder of the game. This is Henderson, 25 yards, 30 yards maybe from goal. Given away rather cheaply to Gudmundsson, who's absolutely tagged there by the England man and Liverpool captain. And the first yellow card of the game, to ironic cheers no less, goes to Jordan Henderson of Liverpool. And it was an obstruction of many sorts there on the Iceland man, Gudmundsson there. Silly challenge, no need to make it, and referee for once in this crazy game has got a decision right. Jordan Henderson quite rightly booked clear obstruction, his first yellow card of the season. And the old Iceland chants from the Claret supporters, and I have to say it's not as good as what the Iceland fans did in the Euros. They chanted it better than anybody else, but credit to all the Claret fans for at least trying. It also adds a little bit more of a third dimension to the atmosphere here at Turf Moor, which is always fantastic anyway. I've also done away with the goal music, of course, which makes the atmosphere that little bit more better, and you can hear the cheers rather than Tom Hawk round the ground when the goal goes into the back of the net. Might be a chance here for Gray. Shoots, turns, and he just puts the shot wide of the post. But I tell you what, he turned, swiveled almost Sam Vokes style. I tell you what, if it had been a bit more accurate there, Andre Gray, that would have been a superb goal. That would have eclipsed Vokes' earlier on, and his own goal just before half time. He hit it again on the left foot, and he just caught it all wrong. He tried to swivel and hit it first time. He had enough time maybe just to take a touch and maybe just set himself there. Or if he'd have hit that one with a lot more accuracy, that would have eclipsed the previous 2 goals. Instead of which it stays 2-0. This is Firmino, midway inside the Burnley half. Well hassled. Oh dear me, referee. He got the ball there, surely, Scott Arfield. It's another soft decision against Burnley again. And it's allowed them to get the 2 back to 4 behind the ball again. Firmino, first touch was poor. Too heavy. And here's Gudmundsson now. And it's a good ball. And Gray will chase. But Mignolet, sweeper keeper, does very well. The big Belgian keeper did well there for Liverpool. Here's Jordan Henderson to Firmino. Halfway line, deep inside the centre circle now. And again, another soft one there. This time against Stephen Ward. And again, the referee getting the bird from 20,000 Clarets here. They're not happy with his performance. They're certainly happy with their team at the moment. 2 goals clear though. And they shouldn't be too worried about the referee at the moment. Here's Lovren now for Liverpool. They're 2 goals down now. Klavan, the Estonian international. Look at the second half possession stats. Unbelievable. 15% Burnley, a whopping 85% Liverpool. But it's what you do with that possession that counts. And Burnley have done a damn sight more with 15% possession to what Liverpool have done in their 85% possession. That's whopping. But it doesn't matter about statistics. There's only one statistic that counts to win a game of football, and that's the amount of goals you score. And Burnley have 2 of those. Safely tucked away in the bank. And at the moment, the 3 points look like staying at Turf Moor, and it'll be 3 points if they can hold on to this lead in the bag. And it will give Burnley a lot of confidence. Remember last time they were in the Premier League, it took them 10 games to get their first victory. It took them 3 games to get their first point, and that was against Manchester United here, and they could have conceivably won it, of course. Another goal kick, and again, the final product from Liverpool has just been poor. And I commentated live on their first match on Sunday against Arsenal. They were superb in attack, dreadful in defence, and they've been dreadful in all areas, quite honestly, despite the possession. And I've watched them now 2 games in succession, and they haven't turned on 2 performances alike, which is a little bit of a concern for Jurgen Klopp. Burnley have really put in a sterling performance. They certainly did that against Swansea, but came out the wrong side of a 1-0 scoreline. But have applied the same application to this game, even though Burnley they've had quite conceivably lesser possession this week. But they've took full advantage of Liverpool's shortcomings in defence, and I've scored 2 magnificent goals of pure genius. This is Henderson now midway inside the Liverpool half. We're coming up towards the last 20 minutes. We're well past halfway mark of the second half. This is Milner up against Boyd, far side. And it's infield now. Coutinho tries a shot, and it's just cleared the crossbar once again. And Burnley will be happy with Oza flying over the crossbar. I have to say, Coutinho's probably been the more likely Liverpool player to make things happy. 3 attempts for Burnley, a whopping 20 for Liverpool. That's just attempts on target. Burnley have had 2, Liverpool have had 4. Not out of 4 for Liverpool, 2 out of 4. 2 out of 2, I should say, for Burnley. And that's always going to be the difference as Gudmundsson chases after that one. And here comes Di Marni. And here comes George Boyd. A lovely ball in behind, and Gray now to the left hand side. Tries to take out 2 defenders there. Both Liverpool centre backs, Carbon and Lovren, doubled up on him that time. 20 minutes just under to go now. We're into the last 19 minutes. And here's Coutinho past the challenger Lawton. And not past the challenger Boyd. It brought him down. Free kick to Liverpool. 10 yards inside the Burnley half. Just a 1 yellow card in the game. That was to Jordan Henderson of Liverpool for a clear obstruction. Really frustrating the men from Anfield now. But wait a moment, here's Firmino. Danger here for the Clarets. Firmino turns away from the defender Loughton. Gets the cross in, but Ben Mead had a penalty spot. A good authority, Clarets. And now Gray took it on halfway. Spaced by 3 yellow-shirted Liverpool defenders who got back there and denied him. Although Gray might have been tempted maybe just to run further towards goal there. Instead of checking back, he had no great support. He did his best, to be fair, the number 7, but it was Clavan who got back, the big Estonian defender, and got back to deny him. $18 to play, plus any time that's going to be added on at the end of the game. Never seen Turfmoor shake to its foundations than it has done today. They've had some great moments in the last few years. Who can forget that moment in 2009 when they beat Manchester United at Turf Moor by that Robbie Blake missile, and then 2 years ago they beat Manchester City through George Boyd's spectacular strike. They've had some great moments in Premier League terms. Those cup nights under former manager Owen Coyle against Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham, of course, when they came within an ace of reaching a League Cup final and their first promotion back in 2009. The game when they beat Wigan, and then last year, and they needed to beat QPR in their last home game. Sam Vokes came up trumps and they held on to claim victory and promotion, of course, back to the big time for the 3rd time in 7 years. This is James Milner, started the game at left back and now tries to apply himself further forward. Gudmundsson in there with a sturdy challenge, but here come Liverpool again. Lovren to Henderson, midway inside the Burnley half. Here's oh, that's a foul by Origi. Clear foul there on Stephen Ward, and he knows it. Ironic cheers towards the referee. There's 2 games tomorrow, of course. Big tears weird derby between Sunderland and Middlesbrough, and then, of course, West Ham's first game in the Olympic Stadium. That should be something spectacular for all West Ham fans. Bournemouth for the visitors there. Semingale kicks away. Going up towards a quarter of an hour to go. As Tom Heaton, right-footed, gets it away, up and under it goes, and Lana takes delivery on the centre circle, and now lays it into Coutinho. Coutinho now onto Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum in turn onto Nathaniel Klein. Right-hand side it goes. Klein gets the ball in. Danger there, but it's well knocked out. Here comes Henderson. Now Vokes wins it. On towards Boyd, far side. Boyd again, has to turn. And all the cheers now are Burnley cheers in the background, as you can hear. It's looking very, very good for Burnley FC. 2 up here and looking very, very composed here. Inside the last quarter hour, and it's looking like a famous Burnley victory. They're first on this ground against this opposition in league football since 1973 when they beat Bill Shanker's Liverpool. Kevin Keegan missed a penalty that day. A header away, won by Ben Mee. They have won a FA Cup tie at Turf Moor 11 years ago. Back in 2005, it was Rafa Benitez's first season in charge at Liverpool that particular year. And Jimmy Traore own goal puts then Steve Cottrell's team into the 4th round of the FA Cup at the expense of Liverpool. They actually went on to the 5th round when they were beaten by Blackburn Rovers rather unfortunately, after a replay at Ewood Park. Burnley in those days had next to no money. They didn't have much of a squad. Last time they beat Liverpool in any competition, that was the FA Cup 11 years ago. They barely had enough to put out a 4-strength squad, and they were losing players just to make a few bob in those days. Double substitution by Liverpool. James Milner tried his heart out, but wasn't good enough on the end. Alberto Moreno, who got a lot of criticism last Sunday from his own manager there for his performance. He now has 30 minutes to try and have some sort of redemption. And Krunic, who is a Slovakian international, replaces disappointing Adam Lallana. Krunic, of course, a new signing here for Liverpool. This season at Anfield, Moreno's first job is to take the throw. Almost level with the Burnley area. Now here's a chance now for Lovren to come forward. Now Henderson. Krunic wears number 16, of course. Here's Henderson, who wears 14. To Lovren. Lovren now looks for options. Burnley in the ascendancy now. 2 goals clear. Quite happy for Liverpool now to throw everything at them. And they're quite happy to soak it up and just get it up the field as much as they can. They're in that comfortable lead. The insurance policy of a 2-goal lead given to them by Sam Vokes and Andre Gray in the first half. As Coutinho tries to make something happen, Krunic edge of the area, gets inside, cuts it in, left-footed, and Tom Heaton had to tip it over his crossbar. And Krunic, within about a minute of coming on, almost making an impact there for Liverpool, struck it superbly, toe-poked it with his left foot. Tom Heaton made a smart save, just flipped it over his crossbar. You're not going to, and he just says to Krunic, sends out a message to him, if you're going to try and beat me, try harder to beat me from there. You aren't going to beat me. I know, to be fair to Heaton, it was a save one would expect him to make. Here's Loughton getting it away left far side. 12 minutes plus stoppage time to play. Burnley in a comfortable position here at the moment. Here's Johan Gudmundsson. Near side, left hand side, absolutely gave 2 Liverpool defenders the slip and then plays it back to Ward. That was good hold up play and good skill there. One ball forward looking for Vokes. Headed away. Here's a chance now for Loughton to come forward, but they will appear for handball, not given. And now the ball over the halfway line. Could be danger here for Burnley, because Origi, faced by Keane. Well, can he stay on his feet, Michael Keane? He can't afford to slide in, and did well actually, to be fair, Michael Keane. And Dean Marney just hoofing it away as far away up the field as he can. And it means now Liverpool have to retrieve it and get on with it again. Inside the 80th minute of the game. Burnley 2, Liverpool 0. Coutinho now, midway inside the half, up towards Origi. Origi inside the penalty area. Left of it. Crossed it in. Took a nick and it came away to Keane. Keane up towards Gray. Now Vokes has it. Absolutely strides over halfway and then he's absolutely caught out, but the referee says that's a fair tackle. I thought that was a 3-kick. Sean Dyche absolutely incensed by that on the far side. I have to say that looked a clear obstruction by the Estonian defender. Here's Firmino trying a shot from almost 30 yards and he clears the crossbar, no problem. Almost finds row F on the David Fishwick stand behind Tom Heaton's goal. Meanwhile, the Burnley Cricket boys are underway. That's the club where James Anderson started his cricket career and has gone on to be England's all-time Test wicket taker, being the great Sir Ian Botham. A big Burnley supporter himself, Jimmy Anderson. He's also won the NatWest T20 Plus with Lancashire, of course, last year. He didn't successfully defend that title. That's final days going on at this moment in time as we see Lukas Jutkiewicz going on. The semi-finals in that competition are between Nottinghamshire, Northamptonshire, Durham and Yorkshire. Meanwhile, in Lancashire, Sam Vokes, the scorer of the first goal on 2 minutes, turn, swivel, right footed shot on the edge of the D and into the net past Simon Mignolet to a rupture of 3 and a bit sides of turf bore. The roof really lifted off the stadium. He comes off after 81 minutes to be replaced by Jikas Ljukovic, who started his career incidentally at Liverpool's arch rivals Everton. So he started his career across Stanley Park at Goodison Park, but he didn't really make the grade there. Had a spell at Coventry, then Middlesbrough, and then 2 years ago came to Turf Moor. His spell at Turf Moor has actually been ravished by a lot of injuries. Hasn't scored in the league yet for Burnley, but there's still time for him to break that duck with about 8 minutes to go, plus any time added on for stoppages, as Krunic gets it forward now for Liverpool. Up towards the far side. What a header run there by Loughton, who's clearly fouled there. A free kick to the Clarets. We're just about 7 minutes away now from bringing about the victory. Well, a lot of comments flying in. Obviously we can't do it at the moment, but we'll bring you interviews with Sean Dyche and with Jurgen Klopp after this commentary stream. Here's Lawton. I'll explain why it's a delayed commentary to all these. There's a lot of comments at the moment. I'll explain after the match why it's a delayed commentary and not a live commentary, and you'll understand why we do it delayed. I think I've mentioned it more on one occasion, certainly in the Euros and in the build up to the season. But we will be showing we will be doing a live Clarets match. Don't forget, on Wednesday, cup match at Accrington Stanley. Should be a great atmosphere down there at the Crown Ground, although it's now called the WAM Stadium for sponsorship reasons. But unfortunately, it's not the WAM. It's not the WAM with George Michael and Andrew Ridgely there. They've got nothing to do with Accrington Stanley Football Club. It's named after a type of Tupperware product, and that is what WAM is in terms of Accrington Stanley sponsorship. They're not sponsored by the Pop Group, they're sponsored by a new brand of Tupperware company. If you're old enough to remember, Tupperware was a type of material that was used to make lunch boxes and that sort of thing. And it sort of went out of fashion, but companies like WAM, who sponsor Accrington Stanley, are now bringing that sort of Tupperware cups and lunch boxes back into fashion. You're missing nothing, by the way. Here's Origi, shot back in from Coutinho, well charged down. 5 minutes to go now, and Liverpool looking in complete control of proceedings here as Lovren plays it out to Klein. Klein in turn to Lovren, and Lovren in turn finds Henderson. It's beginning to look as if Liverpool are going to run out of ample time now, as the turn comes in. Lovely ball out towards the far side here. Moreno from Lovren's pass, he has a second goal, plays it into Coutinho, edge of the area. Coutinho has to try and cross it back, and out by Loughton up towards Gray, but it's back with Mingele, and now Lovren way into time added on, way into the last 4 minutes of the game. Andre Gray has just been named sponsored man of the match. Has tormented and harassed everybody. I think Stefan Defoe had a tremendous game as for his 55 minutes on the field, as another shot goes high, wide and not so handsome from Liverpool, around about the 25 yards out mark. It's fair to say it's not going to be their afternoon. You're not Danny Ings is the cry now around Turf Moor. Maybe a little polite dig at Jurgen Klopp, considering he's not included Danny Ings for the 16 for this trip to Anfield. It's a shame we didn't see him in action today. Would have been a great third dimension and a great little subplot to this game, but Liverpool, despite having all the possession, have offered absolutely nothing to proceedings here this afternoon. Klein gets it forward again, and it's hooked into touch. It will be a throw. 3 minutes of the match to go. So 3 minutes just over to go, and Burnley very, very comfortable despite only having around about 20% possession for the entire game. It's just been an absolute avalanche from Liverpool, but they just haven't been able to get through. This 2 banks of 4. It's been this was a game of Monopoly, it would be a no-goal situation, and at the moment it's a no-goal zone to that Burnley goal, and Burnley have been tight. They've kept their back 4, their 2 banks of 4 sturdy and tight. Tom Heaton has only had to make 1, maybe 2 meaningful saves in the whole 90 minutes, and that's a testament to him as a top quality goalkeeper when he's not had much to do, but yet he's been called upon to make 1 or 2 crucial saves at crucial moments. Even if you have nothing to do for a large period of the game, your concentration as a goalkeeper has to be top notch, as Moreno sends another ball into the penalty area from a short taking corner. It's headed away with great interest. After the delayed commentary, we'll hear from Sean Dyche. We'll play an interview, full-length interview with Sean Dyche, with Clarets players Darren Bentley, and then we'll bring you up to date. And a couple of other interviews, possibly Jurgen Klopp if we've got time, as Lee Mason tries to get the game carrying on. He's had a mixed bag today. He's spotted 1 or 2 easy decisions he got wrong. No, they never sings around this famous old ground. Arfield made a little mistake there in knocking the ball unwittingly out for a corner. He acknowledged his mistake. Here's Firmino knocking it back, and now Liverpool with virtually everybody bar Simon Mignolet in the Burnley half as they look for a way past this Burnley defence. We're in the last minute of normal time. Klein tries the shot and it goes well wide of Tom Heaton's far post, and it will be a goal kick with 10 seconds of normal time remaining, and then it'll be down to the 4th official, Kevin Friend of Leicestershire, to add on whatever time is there. He's poised with his Tag Heuer board. They're now the official timekeepers of the Premier League, and he's indicated to us now there'll be a minimum, I think of about 4, maybe 5 minutes. In fact, it's 3 added minutes, sorry, 3 added minutes. I misread it there from my lofty position in the commentary box. So it's 3 minutes at the end of the game, and 3 minutes more for Burnley to see out what's going to be a real famous victory. 3 points that everybody wasn't going to they didn't think they were going to get. It's a great chance to play 1-2 with Goodmunson on the edge of the Liverpool area. Tell you what, if that had come up, Goodmunson would have had a free shot at Mignolet's goal then, and maybe that would have put the icing on the cherry on the cake as far as the Clarets were concerned. A magnificent performance and a statement of intent for Burnley here. And a lot of people were saying that their first realistic chance of a win was going to come in mid-September when they played home in their next home match here. They've got to go to Chelsea next. Jurgen Klopp, I can just see there, wry smile on his face, but he's not happy inside, I'm sure. Burnley about to make a change, and it's going to be one of the young lads who's going to come on. I think here's Andre Gray, yields a corner, and that's Burnley. Amazingly enough, that's Burnley's first of the contest. You couldn't write scripts for football. If you did write a script for football, it would be dull and boring. And Andre Gray is going to get a huge reception. Sponsors man of the match at Turf Moor today. And 3,500 Turf Moor stand as one to cheer him off the field. And Aidan O'Neill, a young teenage Australian player, been brought into the squad. He's going to get a Premier League debut. Comes from Brisbane, not exactly Brisbane type weather. He's going to get at least a minute or two of Premier League action. And it comes against Liverpool, one of the greatest club sides in the country, if not world football. 18 league championships, 5 European Cups. I've been humiliated today by a Burnley side that have shown more passion, have shown more strength in depth. I've been very resolute in defence, have given nothing away. Liverpool made a mistake on the first goal. Oh, they almost made another mistake there. Klein almost sailed his goalkeeper down the river. But in the end, Liverpool, it doesn't result in conceding a third goal. 10 seconds of normal of the 3 minutes to play. And this will be the last attack now. That's going to be a free kick on the far side. Played the 3 minutes. Steve Marnie with one of his typical crunching tackles. So here we go now. Jordan Henderson will take the final, showing what will be the final set piece of the match. Burnley have banked the win. Can they hold on now and just bank the clean sheet to go with it? Henderson lifts it in. Header one, he's wide, and there goes the whistle. To huge cheers at Turf Moor. Sean Dyche shakes hands with Jurgen Klopp. And that was a defence. What a superb display by 11 tremendous players from Burnley. The goal scorers, Sam Vokes and Andre Gray, congratulated by the opposition manager Jurgen Klopp. Handshakes for both scorers. Good sportsmanship from the Liverpool manager. There he is, shaking Vokes' hand. Vokes' goal after 2 minutes, great after 37 minutes, what a difference. But in between all that, what a fantastic piece of defensive work from Burnley. For 90 minutes non-stop, they put on a defensive masterclass and frustrated Liverpool, and Tom Heaton only had 2 shots to save in the entire match. So, as we leave you, full-time score here at Anfield, it's ended Burnley 2, Liverpool 0, in what was a thrilling afternoon's football here down at the Turf. Burnley 2, Liverpool 0. And what a victory that was, and just a word or two about one or two people that have signed on. MJ thought it was got it right, but Kevin has emailed me, and it's good to hear that everyone has emailed on this as well. But it was a full delayed stream. We are live now, but we are going to play a couple of interviews from the game yesterday, and I'm sure you all want to hear from Sean Dyche as well on the game. We're going to concentrate on the football first, and then obviously we're actually going to hear first of all from Sean Dyche, and then Stephen Defoe. We're going to hear from him in a moment or two, but first of all, let's hear from Sean Dyche, obviously Burnley's manager, who's done a magnificent job in the 3.5 years he's been at the club so far, and he's now been speaking to Chorus players Darren Bentley.
Yeah, for a game to be very proud of, I think, today. Yeah, absolutely. I think Small is, a big game, an important game, of course. We want to get that first win, that first 3 points on the table, and we've done that today against what are an excellent side. I mean, you saw today some of the way they keep the ball, and they filled the midfield with 5, 6 at times. It's very difficult to play against as regards keeping your focus on your game plan. And I thought the players did that fantastically well. Never got disappointed to not have the ball, kept their shape, kept working, kept looking to break on the counter, which we did on several occasions. And of course, you do need good players to do good things, and I thought we did today. I thought Vokes' finish and Andre's finish are absolutely sublime.
It is that monkey off the back, isn't it? You want to get that first win on the board, it settles everything down.
No, that's right, and people are always questioning when will that win come in, and they question it after one game, by the way, which is surreal. But no, we know it's a big task. We know the way the game plan panned out today. We're not naive. We know they had lots of the ball, and we know we're going to have to keep the ball better. We're going to have to build that side of a game. But on the other hand, we do try and plan this. This is not just throw a team out there and hope for the best. We thought we might have to work on the counter. We thought we could get good presses at times from the keeper, which we did. But you've got to see through what the opposition are doing. I'm really pleased with the players today because they could have got lost in that game with them keeping it so much, but they stayed to their shape, they stayed diligent, they kept working, knowing we have got a threat, and I thought that threat was obvious on the counter on several occasions today.
To all intents and purposes, Tom Heaton hasn't had too much to do.
No, I mean, I don't want to exaggerate that too much because they're a fine side, they're lost in the ball, but I agree with you. I mean, Tom will come away from that feeling quite secure with the back four in front of that, his midfield in front of that working hard, and the two centre forwards working hard for a second half when they got to grips with it a bit more. So, the will and demand and the belief in the camp is very strong. We still know that technically we need to improve at times, particularly keeping the ball. But people forget they're a good side. They don't just keep it, they press quickly as well, and that's something that Jurgen Klopp's brought into the club. So we're really pleased for everyone, and they're particularly pleased with the fans. They know it's going to be tough this season, just by the nature of the Premier League, but they're sticking with us, and we're going to need that. We are going to need that. But I think it's good when days like this come around for the whole town.
Put it off long enough. What about those goals? They were both fantastic strikes.
Marvellous goals. I mean, really pleased for two different reasons. The pressing for the first goal, and Andre goes back, retrieves it, gets turned, a real good solid passer into Vokes, but his turn and finish is excellent. Second one, counter-attack, Stephen Defoe, nice and calm. Plays Andre, he's got work to do. I mean, terrific. Particularly his second touch. His first touch is a bit scruffy, his second one's clean, gets it perfect for him to drill it in the corner. I mean, two fantastic goals. It's not, there'll be a lot made, I think, of, we only had 20% possession and all that, but them two goals are enough, surely, to win any game, I felt, today.
I think so. Stephen Defoe had a great debut in midfield, I thought, as well.
Yeah, tough for him, because the tempo of that game was very high, and, for him, his body, that'll be something he'll have to adjust to, because he's not used to playing at that tempo, and I spoke to him afterwards about that, but he will adjust, of course. He's a bright player, he's a clever player, and he will adjust to the demands.
And the icing on a very sweet cake, Ed O'Neill, 18-year-old, getting a debut in the Premier League, fantastic stuff.
No, marvellous. We've enjoyed him pre-season, as you know. He's been with us pre-season, he played at Bolton, and he's been bits and bobs, been training with us. Really pleased for him.
Thank you, Gaffer. Well done.
Great performance. As it was just, they knew that Liverpool were going to have possession, and as a result, it was always going to be the case. But what a performance from Burnley! Fully deserving of 3 points there. But let's hear from another debutant today, Stephen Defoe. Again, talking with Claret's player.
JP. Yeah, it's nice to have a debut like this. I think I couldn't dream any better.
What an introduction to the Premier League. Was it everything you thought it was?
Yeah, of course. The fans, they were amazing. The atmosphere around the game, it was really fantastic.
And how does that compare to back home?
It's really different because here they're supporting really the team until the end, and we played a good game, so against a big team, so everybody's happy.
You played a big part in Andre's goal.
Yeah, of course. I saw him slipping the first time, and then I saw him next to me, so I waited the defender coming to me and then to pass him the ball.
I mean, it's a real battle out there. Liverpool are one of the best sides, obviously, in the Premier League.
Yeah, of course, it feels great. We have a good. We have a really, really good team who works really hard, and then it can only go better.
Yeah, and it's 43 years since we've beaten Liverpool in the league here. That tells you something about today.
Yeah, so it's really special. So we worked hard for it, and I think today we deserve the win.
Yeah, you went off just before the hour. Everything okay?
Yeah, I just overstretched my knee a little bit, but normally it should be fine for next week.
Yeah, and it's a big battle in the Premier League. Those 3 points are so vital.
Yeah, I think it's really important, especially the games at home. We are trying to get always the 3 points, and then trying to get some ones at the away games.
Yeah, you've seen Roberto Martinez here today. You still want to play for Belgium again, I guess?
Of course, it's an honour to play for the national team, so I'm ready.
And you can only be impressed with that performance.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. So I let the fans be the judge of that, but it was nice today.
Welcome to Burnley. Well done today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Stephen Defoe, tremendous performance. 55 minutes he was on the field today, and he can't have done himself much harm in the way he played yesterday. Now, unfortunately, whilst we were basking in the glory of 3 glorious points and 3 unexpected points, there was some newspaper reports that this is to do with Andre Gray, one of the scorers, and it's a subject I don't like to touch on, but we have to touch it. It's a news line, unfortunately. As a lot of you subscribers and listeners would have heard, there was reports yesterday from to do with Andre Gray, I'm afraid, about some homophobic tweets that were made in 2012 when he was a non-league footballer. It was really sad. I was disappointed because I'm a big Andre Gray fan. These comments, I should stress, were made 4 years ago. He deeply regrets it, and the club did come out and state that as well. Now, what I'm going to do is read you a quote from Andre Gray, which was published last night, and I'm also going to read out a statement from Burnley Football Club as well on this, because it's very vital. It's very vital that this doesn't get blown out of all proportions, because nobody likes to see anything like that. These tweets, you've got to remember, these are from 4 years ago. Now, we're going to read out the club straight. First of all, we're going to read out Andre Gray's statement. This was released to the press last night via his Twitter account. This is what Andre Gray had to say on the allegations and what actually happened, and on these tweets that happened 4 years ago when he was a non-league player. And I'm going to quote Andre Gray here now. He says, "I would like to respond to media reports to regards with previous tweets posted from my Twitter account. Firstly, I'd like to offer a sincere and unreserved apology to anybody that might have been offended in relation to the tweets. The tweets were posted 4 years ago when I was a completely different person to the man I am now. I was at a different point in my life back then, one that I've worked very, very hard to move on from. Thankfully, a lot has changed in my life since then. I've experienced a lot over the past 4 years, and I've had to take responsibility for a number of things in my life, which has enabled me to mature and grow as a person in that time. I have a lot of regrets regarding a number of issues, a number of things I've done in the past, and realise I've made some big mistakes. No more so than these tweets, but I would like to stress that I've worked incredibly hard to completely transform my life since that time. Just to clarify that I don't hold the beliefs written in those tweets whatsoever. I can assure everybody that I'm absolutely not homophobic, and as I've said previously, I can only apologise and ask for forgiveness to anybody I've offended. Thankfully, I'm not the guy I was back then, and I will continue to work hard both on and off the pitch to become a better person." That statement I read was from Andre Gray, the footballer. Now, a Burnley Football Club statement on the issue. It says, "Burnley Football Club of this evening have been made aware of this historical media post by Andre Gray made prior to the player actually joining the club. The club would actually like to make it clear that we do not condone any discriminatory action or behaviour by any employee, whether it's players, staff, or anything who is employed by Burnley Football Club in any capacity. Now, the club also fully supports the FA's Football versus Homophobia campaign. Now, however, as Andre has made in a statement on his personal account, these are social posts from over 4 years ago, and in that time has completely transformed his life. The player has actually apologised and denied in any way, shape or form he's homophobic, and Burnley Football Club will make no further statements on the matter." It's a sad way. It's soured the win a bit. I'm not going to have to be fair, I'm not going to have an opinion. What's happened. Kevin makes the point on the issue. Forget and forgive. It is 4 years ago, but I'm more for. I mean, he was a young lad then. He's done terrifically well. It would be a shame, really, his career was to end that way. I really don't think so. But he's at least he's come out and apologised, and I think that's big of him. Not a lot of footballers would come out and be big enough to admit they've made a mistake and apologise. and hopefully it will be the end of the matter. But real good stance there from the player, not only the player but the football club, that they don't condone it. And as Kevin quite rightly says, Kevin Benson there, good evening to you, Kevin, all the way from Australia. Bad result for you guys yesterday at Crystal Palace, but you've come good with Benteke. Forget and forgive. Indeed. But let's not detract from a great performance from Burnley. Let's get back to happier issues. I had to touch on that reports because there was a lot made of it last night, and we couldn't ignore that. But let's get back to the main reason why we've done this stream tonight. It was the football. Jurgen Klopp's side had about 85%, something amounting to that possession. They did next to nothing with it. Burnley had about 19% possession, scored 2 goals, could have had a third near the end. Gray and Vokes, let's stick with matters on the pitch now. Gray and Vokes were unplayable. When they countered, Liverpool were worried. They were worried. The first goal was Nathaniel Klein playing a poor pass, and Vokes turned, swiveled, shot with his right foot for a goal of pure genius. Andre Gray with the second goal, but let's give credit to the debutant Stephen Defoe, who was superb in the 55 minutes he was on the field. He sounded in his interview there, he enjoyed himself and was absolutely superb in the way that he went about his business yesterday, and he was really superb. Before we leave you, we're going to bring you Jurgen. Well, we might as well try and be a little less. We'll try and be a little balanced. We're going to bring you Jurgen Klopp's post-match interview. This is what he had to say in the post-match press conference yesterday. This is Jurgen Klopp talking after Liverpool lost at the Turf yesterday.
Situations, but it could be finished to analyze it pretty quick and say, okay, we lost 2-0, so why would we want to talk about? So all what you saw is not important because it's not allowed to lose here 2-0. But of course that's not the case, not the way how I can do it. And so I thought actually it was about 90%, but I heard the second half it was only 86% of ball possession. I have no idea where the ball possession, where the 14% have been. And it was a difficult game for us, but we had the decision making. We passed the ball, we lost the ball in wrong moments, in open moments, where counter-attack, counter-pressing, I'm not sure, but around the first goal, counter-attack, around the second goal, 2-0, but even in the halftime I had the feeling there's a lot in this game still for us. So and then we tried, and then again it was not, this first half was not for growing self-confidence or something like this. So it's we lost a little bit timing, patience, all that stuff was not best. Timing in offensive today were really not good. 1-2 little counterattacks of Burnley, that's it. So now we lost in a game which we had, I think, for about both half times 80% possession. So, but it's different ways to play football. That's absolutely okay. Especially the two strikers of Burnley, Woke and Gray, did really well. Physical, strong guys, and the rest defended with big heart. So I respect this. But of course, usually in a game like this, we win if we don't make the mistakes in the wrong moment. But we did. So, and now we have to accept the result and have to carry on. If not, it's no problem.
Do you see a lot of teams going to set up like that against you, do you think?
You are the England specialist, maybe more than myself. I know from last year a few where it could be possible. It's not. I don't think that Burnley don't want to play with 13% possession. We did it well. It's not that I come and give them the ball and they make the mistakes by themselves. I could not imagine this before the game. I'm pretty sure. So it's that's what we did well. No, but at the end, of course, you have to use it more. It's not allowed that you suffer under your own ball possession. Makes no sense. But it's how I said. It's not that we did not. We are 6-7 times. But Phil alone in the right position to shoot. But then you could see how, and then we passed it once again. We were in the box, lost the ball because. What can we say? At the end, you can say, and I think you use this word, or England uses it, clinical. So, and obviously, I saw we were clinical, but even then we didn't score. So that's how it is. We have to accept. What can I say? I watched the game again, and I'm pretty sure I will not see a lot of surprises in this game. I saw everything. So don't lose the ball in situations like in no game in the world. It can happen. Then you need a little bit of luck, okay? And if it happens, then nothing. The life is not over. So we have still, I don't know when we concede the first goal, a lot of time to win the game. And I said even half time I felt that we have still possibility to do it. Well, we had, but not. Yeah, what can I say? In the last moment we were not there where we should have been. That's a little bit the problem in the box or around the box. I saw crosses, really good crosses when nobody was in the box. I saw shots when the whole box was full. Our timing and decision making today was not really good.
Jurgen Klopp there, picking out with his reaction there after a bad defeat for them. And Liverpool, there was a lot of Liverpool fans who I was hearing on radio stations, oh, we're going to have a go at the title now, you know. But I commentated on the match live last week at Arsenal, and they were superb in attack. But defensively, their two centre-backs, Lovren and the Estonian guy, I forget his name now, but they were a bit suspect, I thought, from set plays. The 3 goals they conceded last week were sloppy. And certainly the first one today, although well taken by Sam Vokes, he still had a bit to do. Sloppy play. And then the second goal allowed Gray to run on the edge of the D and just get a great shot away. And but Burnley were everything Liverpool weren't. They were organised. Defensively they were sound, they were fantastic, and from the old 1 to 11 were superb. And that's what else can you really say about that? Anyway, let's bring you up to date with what happened in the Premier League this weekend, because there was obviously plenty of results, so we'll bring you up to date with what happened in the Premier League. So let's bring you up to date. Friday night, Manchester United 2, Southampton 0. Zlatan Ibrahimovic got both the goals. The first after 36 minutes, and the second one from a penalty after 52. On Saturday, Stoke, in the early game, Stoke 1, Man City 4. Sergio Aguero got 2 goals, one from the penalty spot after 27 minutes, the second after 36. Bojan pulled one back after 49 from a penalty. Nolito scored 2 in the last few minutes to seal the victory. Burnley 2, Liverpool 0, as you've already heard. Swansea 0, Hull 2. Bit of a shock down there at the Liberty Stadium. Burnley losing to Swansea last week, and then Swansea looked very good when they attacked. But goals late on from Sean Maloney and Abel Hernandez has given Mike Phelan a real fillip. 6 out of 6 for a team that have only got 13 fit recognised players. That is some going to start the season off. How long will that continue? That remains to be seen. Tottenham 1, Crystal Palace 0. Kevin, I've got to bring it up. You played, actually, to be fair, they played really well yesterday from what I saw, Crystal Palace. Were very unlucky not to come away with a point because they defended rather well yesterday. Victor Wanyama on his full Tottenham debut at White Hart Lane with a decisive goal after 82 minutes. But Crystal Palace, well, they've got they've got Christian Benteke coming to Crystal Palace and not to the Clarets. I thought there was a little bit of yesterday morning. There was a thing on Benteke's actual Twitter account saying that he joined Burnley and not Crystal Palace, but he has signed for Crystal Palace. I can tell you for 32 million, and I think he'll be a terrific signing for Alan Pardew. And I'm sure Kevin Benson will thank me for saying that. I think he'll had a bit more bite to the Palace attack. Bit of a dramatic afternoon down at Vicarage Road yesterday. Watford 1, Chelsea 2. Etienne Capoue gave Watford the lead after 55 minutes, and then Batshuayi equalised with 10 minutes to play. Then Diego Costa, who could have been sent off a few minutes before and could have been booked for a dive even in the game, got the winning goal with 3 minutes of the 90 minutes to go. They hung on and took the victory there, but for so long it looked as if Watford were going to pull off a major shock. Good game as well at the Hawthorns, with a good finish there to that one. West Brom 1, Everton 2. Everton had to come from behind to win the game. They trailed to a 9th-minute goal from Gareth McCauley. Ned Morales ran on the stroke of half-time, equalised, and Gareth Barry, the former Aston Villa man, got the winning goal after 60 minutes, and that's the way it stayed at the Hawthorns. And finally, the late game, it ended a bit disappointing, to be fair. Leicester City 0, Arsenal 0. Leicester should have had 2 penalties in the game. One, I think, for Danny Drinkwater, especially right on the stroke of half-time. But a point apiece for last season's top 2. A result which probably didn't do them any favours, really, in terms of the table. And a couple of games played earlier on today. The Tiers Weir derby. Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 2. Middlesbrough with 4 points from their first 2 games. They must be delighted. Karanka will be delighted with the start. 2 first-half goals from Stuani put Middlesbrough 2 up. Patrick Van Arnold put Sunderland back in it, but they just couldn't, with 19 minutes to go, but they just couldn't find that equaliser, and it's Middlesbrough who get the bragging rights up in the northeast this afternoon. And West Ham's first match in the new Olympic Stadium ends with a narrow victory over Bournemouth, who were reduced to 10 men after 77 minutes when Harry Arter was sent off for 2 bookable offences. He'd already been previously booked in the 33rd minute. Mikel Antonio got the winning goal with 5 minutes to go, and West Ham off to a winning start at their new home. So let's have a look at the league table before we leave you then tonight. At the top, Man City and Manchester United lead the way with 6 points from their first 2 games. City lead United on terms of alphabetical order. They have the same goal difference, +4. Hull are then amazingly third with 6 points, with 1 less goal. Chelsea have 6 points, so 400% records. Then come Everton, Middlesbrough, Tottenham, Burnley up to 8th now, dizzy heights of 8th place after that superb win over Liverpool. West Brom then on 9th, West Ham 10th, Liverpool 11th, Swansea 12th. From 5th to 12th, 3 points for all those teams. It's just goal difference separating the places. And then you've got the teams with 1 point, Arsenal 13th, then Watford, then Leicester in 15th, Southampton in 16th, and Stoke 4th from bottom. And the bottom 3 teams who have scored no points in their first 2 games: Sunderland, Crystal Palace, both on -2 goal difference, and Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, who prop up the rest with a -3 goal difference. But it's still early days as far as the Premier League is concerned. Burnley up to the 8th place then after that victory in our featured delayed commentary. More commentaries to come live, and it's from the Capital One. Well, it's actually from the EPL Cup, and it's Liverpool. We'll be seeing Liverpool in action on Tuesday night as they go to Burton Albion at the Pirelli Stadium for the second round of the EPL Cup, what everyone knows as the Capital One Cup or the League Cup. Our coverage of that game will start around about 7:30 with the build-up, and then the day after that we're back. We're going to be featuring again the Clarets live this time as they travel just the 8 miles, the 5 miles or so past the likes of Hapton and Huncourt to the Crown Ground, or what's known as the Wham Stadium. No, it's not the band Wham, it's not George Michael and Andrew Ridgely, it's a kind of Tupperware producer. They're sponsoring the Accrington ground at the moment, the Crown Ground. They're the ground sponsors. They travel to the Wham Stadium to take on Accrington Stanley, and that game, of course, I think that's a 7:45 kickoff. Will be on air around about 7:30 as well on Wednesday night. They're the next 2 live commentary games. We'll bring you more updates around about that time then on Premier League and what's coming up in that one next week. We'll bring you up to speed during those 2 cup times. But those are the 2 live games that got coming up, both cup ties. So if you like your cup ties, you're going to get two real corkers as Football League take on Premier League. So that brings us to the end of the stream. I hope very much you've enjoyed it tonight. Burnley yesterday was superb. Andre Gray, Sam Vokes on the counter-attack was unplayable. Stefan Defoe, terrific performance from him. I hope very much you've enjoyed the live streaming. If you're going to comment below about anything that's happened to do with Andre Gray and what happened after the game, please don't bother, because you'll only have it because I have the power to take any rude comment that was made about it. He said sorry, let's move on from there on in. He regrets what he said, and he doesn't condone homophobia in any way, shape or form. But thank you very much indeed for listening. Any comment made to do with the Andre Gray press speculation about what he said, please don't say it, because the comment will be deleted. It's for these commentaries are for football purposes. I had to bring that up because it could not be ignored. Well, thank you very much for listening. Great result for Burnley. We move up to 8th place. Thank you very much for listening to the full delay commentary. From me, JB, a very good night to you all, and we'll see you on Tuesday night for Burton against Liverpool in the EPL Cup. From me, take care. Good night.